The China Report for Friday, April 26, 2013. China seeks soft power influence in U.S. through CCTV. At a time when so many major American news organizations are cutting back, foreign news agencies are beefing up their presence abroad and in the U.S. One of the biggest new players arrives from China and, more likely than not, can be found on a television set near you. CCTV, or China Central Television, is owned by the Chinese government. With more than 40 channels in China and an offshoot in the U.S., the broadcaster has been highly profitable for the country's ruling Communist Party, which is liking profits a lot these days. The propaganda network has several objectives, including delivering controlled news to a growing English-speaking audience, covering more topics and expanding its reach with increased financial backing. Even though the network is increasing coverage and addressing more issues globally, it is highly unlikely CCTV will ever do an interview with Dalai Lama or expose social problems within China. In China, the license plates can cost more than the car. Shanghai's busy streets teem with Buicks, Fords, Volkswagens, and Toyotas. More than 9 out of 10 cars in the world's most populous city are made by foreign companies, and it's not just a reflection of mainlanders' preference for Western design. Some local automakers say the city's license plate auctions are responsible for their weak sales. Shanghai is one of 4 Chinese cities that limit car purchases by imposing quotas on registrations. The prices paid at Shanghai's license auctions in recent months, 90,000 yuan $14,530, have exceeded the cost of many entry-level cars, the stronghold of Chinese brands such as Chery, Geely, and Great Wall. While residents with modest incomes may be able to afford an inexpensive car, the registration cost is often beyond their reach. Whenever there's a restriction of new car purchases through the quota system, there is always a big impact on lower-price cars like the ones we make, says Lawrence Eng, executive director of Geely Automobile Holdings 175, whose Panda Mini car sells for 37,800 yuan. Imagine paying more for a license plate than the entire car cost. 2 Tibetan monks in China die. More than 100 Tibetans, mostly young monks, have set themselves on fire since 2011, many fatally, in apparent protest against Chinese rule. The monks, who reports identify as Lobsang Dawa, 20, and Conchag Wozer, 23, set themselves on fire on Wednesday, US-based Radio Free Asia and London-based Free Tibet said. Continue reading the main story. The Tibet divide is as follows. China says Tibet has always been part of its territory. Tibet had long periods of autonomy. China launched a military assault in 1950. Opposition to Chinese rule led to a bloody uprising in 1959. Tibet's spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama, fled to India. Dalai Lama now advocates a middle way with Beijing, seeking autonomy but not independence. The problems in Tibet continue. China warns of financial risks as recovery falters. China's top leaders said the country must guard against financial risks and boost consumption amid signs that the recovery in the world's second biggest economy is faltering. China needs to cement its domestic economic growth momentum and guard against potential risks in financial sectors, the Politburo Central Committee said in a statement late yesterday published by the official Xinhua news agency. Macroeconomic policies should be stabilized and micro-controls in some sectors should be loosened, it said after what Xinhua said was a special session on the economy. Data this week showed China's manufacturing is expanding at a slower pace, adding to evidence a recovery is losing steam after an unexpected slowdown to 7.7% growth in the first quarter. Goldman Sachs Group Incorporated and J.P. Morgan Chase & Company last week cut forecasts for 2013 expansion, while Nomura Holdings Incorporated estimates a 1 in 3 likelihood of a so-called hard landing before the end of 2014. That's the China Report for today. Zaijian.